Oh! What's up guys, Rich Duper Bash. I'm out here for run number 2 with my new EXB 8S or Large Scale ARRMA Kraton roller. So my first bash, I was pretty brutal with this rig, honestly. I did a lot of vertical ramp hits, coming down on really uneven hard pack. Pretty much just out here for a joyride today, guys. The weather's beautiful. I wanted to test this sucker out on just kind of natural terrain. Went ahead and dropped 1 million CST diff fluid in the front, and then I've got 500K in the rear. So the center, again, I had already tuned with 20 million and half silicone earplug. So again, guys, I already went over my setup in my other videos. Again, I'm still running the Hobby Star. This is a 980 kV. I have a 32 tooth pinion paired with a 39 tooth spur. The rig did great overall my first bash, but I did end up having to straighten the front chassis. I also noticed the rear chassis was slightly bowed, and you'll see what I've done here is I decided to run a bolt because there's a hole in the chassis and a hole in this rear brace. I just ran an M4 bolt, and I've got basically like a stack of washers back there underneath just to kind of act as a spacer, and then I've got an M4 nut on the top here with another spacer. So we'll see how that works. I just figured it would stiffen the rear of the chassis some and maybe help this rear brace out. Only other change I did, guys, was I added an aluminum B-block just because I broke the first one, the first bash. I basically came down kind of sideways, and I think I took a few jumps with this broken, and it just kind of put even more strain on the chassis. So the front and rear diffs both had enough fluid, guys. They're maybe just a little bit light though for my liking. I went ahead and caked my gears up with some nice marine grease. Only other damage I really found on the rig, guys, is this rear rod end. Despite being super beefy, I think when I cased this thing into the side of that mound and I shaved the ramp, I basically ended up having to, you can't tell, but I ended up having to use like essentially an epoxy just to kind of firm this, because I ended up cracking this, I think, on that one brutal impact. In a nutshell, I just came out here to enjoy the weather and also to kind of see how these tires do. I haven't tried these in the sand yet. There's a lot of kind of mixed terrain out here. I just want to rip around, see how the diffs work now that they're tuned, and just see how much ballooning I'm getting with the tires. Oh, just missed that big pile of granite rock right there, guys. I don't know if I'm getting a shot of this or not, but it looks like my little rig came undone, unfortunately. So again, I think these rod ends are pretty strong. I just totally flailed my first session with this truck. So anyway, I've got another set on order. We'll see how this goes. Fortunately, Mitch Looper with M2C Racing is coming out with some 7mm shafts, his own little cartridge for the lower end, and then some aluminum or steel rod ends. So for now, guys, just for a quick fix, I went to the standard rod end. I had to go ahead and drill it out. I'm not sure on the drill bit size, but basically we'll just have to see if this sucker's gonna hold up. Thing's a wild animal, guys.
Oh my God, no! Are you fucking serious?
Oh! Alright guys, that's going to be it for the day. I just decided to go ahead and check my voltage, and I'm right at balance charge at like 3.8. Running out of time as well. So I just looked the truck over. The only thing I'm seeing is it looks like I kind of gnarled. This is a first timer for me, is that this little plastic piece that holds the front of the servo saver onto the mud guard. It looks like I actually probably bent or broke it. So anyway, the truck still steers fine, but I'm definitely going to replace that with aluminum. I took the wheel off because I noticed when I was checking my shocks that this pillow ball nut had actually tightened on itself. So because it basically was binding up. I'm glad I stopped. Otherwise I probably would have busted my hub. So you always want a little bit of play in there. This side actually, it looks like it probably came a little loose. Not too big of a deal. So you'll see the chassis. I do have that same kind of bow here in the back. I got a little bit of a bow, but it looks like my little rig here, just running a bolt through this rear brace probably helps. So overall, I got to say I'm real happy with the diff setup. Again, I put 1 million in the front and 500,000 in the rear, and again I'm still running half silicone earplug and half 20 million in the center. So it helped control the ballooning. Obviously these big blocks do definitely have got a little more ballooning, but all in all I'm really happy with them. Very forgiving. I'll throw in some 6S footage. I was able to sneak out for a couple quick jumps after work. All right guys, until next time, late.